This setup is so wild. Can you even see me? Can you see me? Okay. What up, y'all? Actually, I wish I kind of had it. Wish I had the camera the other way. Right now, it's on the front-facing camera. But really, who cares? Okay, so I just finished my other voiceover. So now I'm doing this video because I can. So I'm gonna be doing my markers. So what colors am I gonna use today? Oh, for sure this. For sure. Yes. That's hard. Dark and kind of like a bright color. This. Yeah, like a hint of that. Okay. I've done this colorway before, but yeah. So I wanted to do this video. Obviously. How do I write the date on here? Can you even see what date? I'm writing on here. Can you see? Anyways, it's fine. What's today? Okay. It's hard for me to like write on. I'm gonna just write on the bottom today because don't have no room up there. Like what? So yeah, because after I filmed my first video this morning, I was like, I missed a couple points I want to say in another video. So yeah, I was like, it's kind of convenient because you know why? I'm doing my brush pen today. So based on like my fingers and stuff, it be kind of like telling me signs. I know I sound crazy right now, but like certain fingers be semi-dry, and I'm like, there's purpose to this. There's like a reason why. But trust me, I'm gonna get this stuff figured out. But I was just thinking about my art, right? I was thinking about my art, and I was like, it's true. Like for my art, for the most part, because I'm not thinking about any idea in my mind, for the most part, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of my images, right, they're usually faces, right, more like cartoony style, more simpler type drawings with a lot of color, right? And so I was having this thought, I was like, in a sense, like, yeah, I don't really have that much, like, a lot of my stuff, it doesn't really have deep meaning to it, in a sense, right? And that thought, it kind of it just made me think a little bit about that part of my life, because with, for example, music, right, a lot of people, they like music that has a lot of depth to it, right? And then I was just thinking, like, you know what, it really is a balance, truthfully. Like, it's okay, like some art can just be for the look of it looking real hard, of it just looking really good. Like, it doesn't really have to have a meaning, in a sense, as long as it's like visually appealing. Like, that's its purpose. Same with the song, right? If the beat is super hard, vocals are amazing, at least for me, I don't really care about lyrics at that point, or the meaning of the song, if the lyrics, or if the beat is super good. But it is a balance, right? And then you have other art pieces, which I'm trying to do now, where it's at, like, on the back of my canvases now, I'm gonna write out what I believe is the meaning of this painting, right? And adding that part to art. Part art. Oh well. Same with music, like, and then you can have other songs, right, that have deep meaning, that actually has purpose to it. So yeah, it really is a balance. Like, you don't have to go too hard on either scale. And really, when I'm talking to myself, in a sense. I'm not gonna lie, because I really have to hear that, because You can almost devalue your art if you're just thinking to yourself, oh, like my art, it doesn't even, it's not impactful. Or other people can say this about your art. They'll be like, oh, like your art, it doesn't really impact the world or something in a sense. And that can be discouraging to some people. But it's like, no, like everything has a purpose. Like your art has a purpose somewhere. But again, ideally, we all want to be to the point where we have deep meaning to everything that we do. Or to add more of that into our lives, because I feel like a lot of times, especially growing up, right? I know I keep on bringing that up about like your childhood, but I mean, really, the world, right? Society raises us to think superficially, right? So it's not even really your fault, but at the same time, though, it is because your spirit wanted to think like that. But anyways, that's just a whole nother. That's a whole nother thing, but yeah. Because, art is about expression. So if your expression ends up being super deep of a message, or if it's just superficial, all of it's good. All of it's great. As long as you think your art's amazing, then other people will get on board with that if they believe for that to be true for them. And I talked about in my last video on beauty is subjectivity. Same thing with art, right? Some people might not like my style, like in general, like they just don't like it, period. And it's like, cool. But that's not gonna make me feel bad about myself and be like, oh, if this person doesn't like my style of art, I should draw the way that they want me to draw because they like this certain style. It's like, no, like do you. Like don't feel pressured to do anything, man. Like, bro, like this is your life, man. Like this is your experience. Like I need to stop saying like, man, that's so annoying. But if that's the way that I talk, then shit, shouldn't even try to fight that. It's funny, in public speaking, they teach you like not to say. Oh, I keep on saying that. They teach you not to say like or in a speech. I keep on saying that. I'm annoying. I remember my first presentation I did. I probably said like I said the word or something, and my professor, he stops me and he says that because he probably heard me say it a lot of times, and so I had to practice that. But I mean, that course was only one semester. Like after that, look at how I'm talking now. Like, let me live. Why I want to be so professional all the time? But it's true though. Like, and all those type of words are fillers, but I mean, not saying it's who I am, but shit, whatever. I'm gonna just. Anyways, next topic. No, but not me going on a rant. But yeah. Oh shit. But yeah. My filler word is but yeah. It's fine. As long as you feel comfortable saying your stuff, it's all good. It's all good. No judgment, okay? No judgment. Also, talking about that, it's interesting. It kind of goes with the idea of even with school, right? They teach you these certain things. But after that, you can, like, they give you a blueprint, but that doesn't mean you have to follow it all the way through. It's like handwriting. They'll teach you how to write a certain letter. You do it in your own way. If you like, you know what I'm saying? I've noticed too, a lot of, like, my handwriting, it's very different compared to a lot of people. I don't know how that happened, but growing up, but yeah. Just be yourself, really. Be yourself. Like, that's all. Like, if we were all ourselves, we would have everybody would have so much clarity. Plus, on top of that, if y'all were spiritual, the world would be in such a better space. Not to say that it will happen, you know what I'm saying? Because this world is what it is. But you know what I mean. And so yeah, that was the main topic I wanted to talk about, was that, like, depth with art and it having meaning. What else did I want to talk about? One thing, I mean, it happened today, but just know that, anyways, it's not a big deal. That's why I didn't really want to mention it, but it just popped into my mind. So it probably needs to be said, or I want to express it. So, yeah, I remember I got, like, you know, like my attendance, you know, when you have to, like, swipe, you know, to get your hours for work, right? I noticed when I was getting my stuff set up that the other coworker that I have, that she was able to do her uh signing up process before me, even though she was hired after me. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like, briefly in the back of my head, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I was employed before her. Anyways, but it really didn't even, because I could have been like, oh, like, why, how come she did it before, or how come she was able to get it done before me. And I could have had this, like, victim mentality, but really at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. And if there is some, like, deeper meaning behind it, again, like, who cares, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, like, don't make things a big deal when it doesn't have to be a big deal. Because it could be like, maybe it was my bad, I didn't ask earlier, or whatever it is, but it's fine, y'all, it's fine. And really, with a lot of things, like, if, for example, if somebody's angry at you because they want you to do something and you don't do it, like, anybody's reaction towards you, just know that that's them. Like, focus on yourself to where you don't have to feel guilty that you, like, made them feel this way. Like, nah, they're just feeling whatever, because that's just them. Like, you feel fine though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta stand by what you do and have strength in that. Like, for real though, in general, like, everybody. Like, I'm just kidding, no. But really, especially once you get spiritual, like, you really just have to have that mentality, because you could be stepped on, man. Like, you can be used, man. Not in, like, the not in, like, a physical way, but, like, spiritually, you can be used. Like, people can mentally just fuck you up and have you under their wing, man. It's so wild. I was just thinking too, I mean, it just popped into my head how movies, they have these they have concepts to each movie, right? And people at the end of it, they're like, wow, this has a lot of meaning to it. It has a what's the word? It has a theme to it. Yeah, wow, English class. Like, nah, it has this, like, beautiful theme to it, right? And it resonates with them, but they don't really implement that in their life. They think it's that superficial concept of, for example, the word freedom. But now we're talking about deeper freedom, man. Like, this shit goes deep, man. Wow. That is hard. That's hard. Like, whatever resonates with you, you have to go deeper into that aspect. Because it can unlock so many doors for you. Not the burp cycle. Also, yes, I think this is going to be the last topic. Because I remembered it. Heck yeah. And that is, it's feeling free when you are trapped. Whoa. And the first thing I wanted to say is the analogy, right? Because I think everybody has heard of that story where, like, I think it's a book too, but I've never read it. I've heard about it, but it's where, for example, this person is in jail, right? And for most people, you'd think that if you're in jail, you'd feel helpless and you'd feel just really helpless, right? Like your life is basically over, yada yada yada. But if that person in jail were to have a different mindset where it's like, once I get out of jail, I'm gonna do this, yada yada yada, then that's the freedom. Even though maybe physically you'll still be in jail for that amount of time, but if you use your mind to think about the things that you are gonna do, then that is gonna be the thing that sets you free. And if you think hard enough, I really do think and believe that you'll get out of that jail faster. You know, something will come up with the universe where you'll get free faster. And so it's that mentality, because, for example, like, you may not feel, as far as like your living situation, right? You may not feel like you can be free, especially if you're spiritual and the people around you aren't. You could feel like you're being judged all the time because you're doing specific things, and they're probably thinking to themselves, like, why is he or she doing that? Like, they'll just think that type of stuff, and that can hinder you, man, and that can make you feel bad about yourself, or just make you, or that even just that energy, that like aura that you get off of them, of what they think of you, that can discourage you and make you just not want to do something. And so if you're in that position, it's knowing that it's okay. It's just that your energy doesn't match theirs, right? And so there's going to be that clash of interest. And so even though you might be, for example, going back to the analogy, you might be trapped in a jail cell, jail cell. But don't let that idea stop your dreams from happening. Like, you better be in that jail cell, bro. It's so weird. Jail cell. It's like, trips your tongue up sometimes. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's creating freedom in that jail cell. So it's like, you better continue to do your thing and live your life, and to do all the spiritual things you need to do. Own all of it, no matter what people say. Oh, it looks weird. Da da da. But trust me, if you're in that point in your life, just know that you're going to manifest a better situation so that you are free, so that you don't feel like you're being judged. And eventually, for me, especially, like, manifest people that are on your same level. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're trying your best and you put in the work every single day, you'll manifest a situation where you can get out some way, somehow, and follow your dreams. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, man. I'm almost done with this. Hold up. Wow. Life can be hard, but really, it's not as hard as you may think, in a sense. Of course, everybody's situation is different, and I can't really say. Just know, like, everything's gonna be okay. People have issues in all areas of life. Issues. You're like, oh shit, there's a lot of stuff your girl gotta do, right? Just know, like, it's gonna be fine. As long as you're spiritual, you're gonna learn and figure out a way to get going, to get that fire up your ass to go. And yes, you may have distractions in your life, responsibilities to where you have to cater to that first. And that may delay your progress, but it's fine, man. Everybody's on their own timing too with everything.